Of course it could make it. I mean, it doesn't... The fact that something is local or not local is not going to determine whether it makes it or not, doesn't make it. What's going to determine whether it makes it or doesn't make it is whether or not it's something that somebody's able to believe in enough to raise the financing to make, and then when it's put in front of an audience, that an audience responds enough so that they say, okay, I want to see this. In fact, you know what, you should see it too. I don't think that there's anything... I don't think that there's anything that suggests that because it's homegrown, it's somehow less than something that is manufactured someplace else. But that's also equally true in reverse. Just because something is homegrown, you can justify making any movie because you want to make that movie, and that's really, in the end, all you can ever bet on. I believe in this enough, so I'm going to do what it takes to make it. Whether or not your belief is then borne out by other people being willing to spend $10 to go see it, you got to just take your chance. I mean, that's the nature of it. There's nothing that's going to guarantee that you're going to be correct. All you can do is take your shot. I mean, if people really understood that what it took to make a successful movie, then all the movies that were made would be successful. You know, or certainly a vast majority of them would be successful. But truly, nobody knows. I mean, look at Hurt Locker. No. First, nobody's gone to see the movie. Okay, this is the lowest grossing film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture in the history of the Academy Awards.
That was going to be my last question. Has the Oscar given you the boost you would have hoped it would give you?
Well, it's certainly given it a boost. They've re-released it. It's in a re-release, and it's of course going to give a bump to the movie. But this movie is never going to be a film that does $100 million at the box office. That's not. It simply won't be that. It's not that material. It's not that material. Having said that, I think that Hurt Locker is a film that will be around for a long, long time. And I also think that it's a film that's going to do really, really, really well from the ancillary markets. I think that a lot of people, a lot of servicemen and women who return are going to decide that they want to have that in their library. I can't prove that, but anecdotally, the very best thing about Hurt Locker is the number of military people who have who feel really good about it, and who feel really good about the film that we made and the story we tried to tell. And that is, for me anyway, really the most exciting part of the process. I mean, that we've gotten a thumbs up from not everyone. I mean, there's always somebody who thinks you did a terrible job and that it's a terrible film. But really a significant number of service people have expressed their appreciation and felt that we did a good job. And then that makes me feel like, wow, I really did something here. What I've heard from everybody who's spoken to me, who's service, is that the movie paints or conveys a very, very genuine feeling of what it feels like to be there. Some people are very impressed with the accuracy of it. Some people have said, oh, well, you know, it's not accurate, but it's certainly accurate as far as we tried really very, very hard to make it accurate. It's true, for example, that our character, the guy who Sergeant James, who goes into and disarms these bombs, most of the time guys who are in EOD would not simply put on their suit and go walk down the street and disarm a bomb. Most of the time, they would send in the robot. Just like in the movie, when he first gets ready to put on the suit, the guy says, well, let's send in the robot. And he says, no, I'll do it myself. So there's no doubt that this guy, our character, our protagonist, is a cowboy of sorts. But that's the license of a movie. I mean, that's the thing that you can't apologize for. I mean, it's a movie. This is our story. It's our dramatic story, and this is what makes the story dramatic. If it's not a documentary, it's not supposed to be a documentary. What it's supposed to be is something that makes you feel like you are there. You are the fourth member of this three-man bomb squad, and as close to getting that sense of immediacy as we could come. And to the extent that we succeeded in doing that, it seems to have made service people feel like, yeah, you've conveyed that sense of vulnerability, that sense of like, who is the bad guy? Which one is the bad guy? Is everybody the bad guy? Is nobody? Somebody's the bad guy, and that's really gratifying. That's
the main sense I got out of it. Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, to be sure, having the picture win the Academy Award is an amazing, it's an amazing achievement. I mean, you know, this was the 82nd Academy Award, so there have only been 81 other movies in the history of all the tens of thousands of movies made that have ever won this award. So that's kind of cool, but for me anyway, that's not the ultimate satisfaction. The ultimate satisfaction. You know what blew my mind? Here's a perfect example. Local. I'm up at Taos last weekend, and there are Marines who are doing winter training up at the slopes, up at the ski slopes. And I'm not sure exactly how, but somehow somebody said to them or pointed out to them or something that, you know, I was one of the producers of Hurt Locker, and they wanted to meet me. And I went over, and there are these like 7 guys, 7 Marines, and they all said, "We just want to say thank you. Really, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir." And I was like, no, really, thank you guys. Thank you for your service. I mean. That's, no, we just made a movie, but thank you for your, but getting that sort of acknowledgement, receiving that acknowledgement from those guys is quintessentially expresses what makes me feel really good about the movie and about what we did, what all of us who worked on the movie did, and about my part in it. You know, feeling like I did something.